Hi everyone, this is Deepa Patani. I'm the pharmacist over at Allen Pharmacy and Wellness on Stacy and Waters. Our address is 945 West Stacy Road, Suite 110 in Allen, Texas 75013. What we're talking about today is particularly related to the coronavirus, COVID-19, the disease. And the reason why we're talking about this is because this week in particular, I've had a lot of patients just concerned or not sure if they have COVID-19, but because of so many things that are going around in Texas right now with allergies, and we're still just barely coming out of the flu season. And then we're also seeing so much a rise on the corona side. So just wanted to take a few minutes and explain the few key differences between what each of those are and what those symptoms might be, and it may help you decide or figure out if what kind of what you're dealing with at home. We've had several patients this week just calling, complaining, saying that they definitely feel like they have COVID, but then they didn't have a lot of the symptoms, but they had chest pain, and it's a lot of panic, anxiety that's building up as we are stuck at home, staying in isolation, not coming out as much, and so it can be a little nerve-wracking, and I recognize that for a lot of patients and people, it is very nerve-wracking because you can't leave the house. Every time somebody sneezes or coughs, you're not sure what's going on. So here's some information that we had, and I thought, just sharing that with you all would be helpful. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always call me or call your physician and discuss more about what you feel is going on with you. Just never ignore the symptoms. Okay, so what is the first step to figuring out whether you have is flu or allergies or COVID-19, right? So the first step is, do you have a fever? And that will always be the first symptom. If you do have a fever, and that doesn't mean just 98.9 or a low grade 99.2. If your fever's inching closer to 100 or 100.5, 101, now that's considered a fever. And so I always urge people, if you are prone to allergies, if you're not sure what's going on with you, just keep a log of your temperature. Twice a day. We have a chart at home for all four of us, for myself, my husband, my kids, and we do temperatures twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, and then very clearly if you're starting to see a spike in that fever and exactly what date that started, right? So first symptom would be, to see if you have a fever. If the answer is no, you do not have a fever, then your next sentence is, or the next thing you're checking for is, do you have itchy eyes? Do you have runny nose? Do you have any kind of coughing, congestion, things like that? So if you have itchy eyes, runny nose, things like that, then you may actually have allergies, which are actually very, very prevalent right now. So I just had a few patients today that said as soon as we woke up this morning, everything felt tight right here. So if that's what you're experiencing, then, and without a fever, it's very likely that you have allergies, and we would do the same thing we do for our allergies that we've been doing up until now. Symptom control, if you're taking Allegra or Zyrtec, you would continue that. If there's a lot of tightness, Flonase, there's a lot of options. Of course, it all depends on what other medications you're also taking. So you want to check with that, and you can always call me for more questions to look at what other things you may be on. Okay, so if you don't have runny, itchy eyes, then you might have the common cold. Again, those, some other symptoms that might be associated with the common cold might be a little bit of chest tightness, just feeling very heavy a little bit right here in the throat area and whatnot, and that could be symptoms of a common cold. Let's say now that you do have a fever, okay? Now, are you experiencing any kind of shortness of breath? If you are not, and if you can still continue all your activities the same way that you were before, then you may have the flu and not COVID-19. So we're still coming out of the flu season, so we're not seeing it as much anymore, but it is with the change in weather, it's still just kind of may take you out with the last little bit of 2 to 3 weeks there still that we're working on and looking at. So what other symptoms may be associated with that, right? So do you have any kind of cough associated, any kind of fatigue? Do you feel like your entire body's just breaking? You're just exhausted? You feel very weak? If you're feeling any of those symptoms along with the fever, then it's a very good chance that it may be the flu. However, if you do have any kind of shortness of breath, along with the cough, along with the other fatigue and things like that, then there is a very good chance that you may have, contracted one of the strains of the coronavirus or COVID-19, and then it would be warranted to see if you can reach out to your doctor or find out a place where you can do the drive-through tests. I know they're doing a few in the area. There are a lot of test centers, and we'll do a different video about that to talk about that. But that might be another option. You don't want to wind up at one of these testing facilities just because you feel that you might have coronavirus. And the reason I say that is, first of all, we're already short on tests, so we want to save those tests for people that may legitimately have the actual virus, and not, use them on things that may not actually be related to coronavirus. And the second reason is that, well, most likely they won't test you, even if you go there. And now you're going to be more exposed to being in an area where there may be other people that actually have coronavirus. So now you're actually going to a place where you might contract it if you didn't already have it. So for those reasons, I would just not, if you can do symptom control and feel better, then that's what's going to be the fate of most people. Most of us will get it at some point, but right now we're just trying to do all the social isolation and everything else so that we can flatten the curve, give our healthcare system the time to be able to treat us. And, if we do need more help, then we want to keep those hospital beds, those ICU beds open. So that's what we're trying to do right now. But for most of us, if and when we do get it, it's going to be something like the common cold, and we'll all get through it together. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, 972-372-9775. And if you know me at all, no question is a stupid question. So, if you can't talk to somebody else about it, and if you're just anxious about it or stressed about it, please don't hesitate to call me. Okay, I will talk to you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.